Hello everybody, it's them and Wolf back with another video, and I just wanted to say update. Um Update. My brother's in the hospital with pneumonia. Um and he has a low blood temperature and has a high fever, and I hope that he's okay, and I hope he gets feeling better. But I'm just gonna do a creepypasta for both of y'all. Now this one's gonna be a creepypasta of Blue's Clues. It's called Blue's Clues Disability Aid for Impaired Humans. Without any further ado, let's go. You know, I always liked the show Blue's Clues. It was a show about a lonely man who lives in his apartment and seemed to have issues solving very simple dilemmas. He was guided by his dog Blue, a blue dog. It's a great show with a lot of mentally stimulating material. But what a lot of people don't realize, that various elements of the show, that very is that various elements in the original plotline were stripped out in favor of more family and friendly entertainment. The plot episode was created by Todd Kessler and whoever David Bennell was making an interesting take on the original idea, though maybe slightly more adult in tone. Steve, for example, is slightly blind. That's why he has his dog Blue. A seeing-eye dog was meant to help him find things. The clues were intended the dog trying to assist Steve in things like finding groceries and going to the bathroom. The episode started slightly differently. Instead of the yellow book saying Blue's Clues, we see a book titled Disability Aid for Impaired Humans. A picture of a skeleton man in a top hat and cane was shown on the cover. Indeed, the show looked a little different. The show used computer-generated stills to render its backdrop. But these stills were grainier and of lower quality. The yard looked fairly unkempt and dirty. For example, the other issue I noticed, which became more and more glaringly obvious as time progressed, is that Steve had two dark circles under his eyes. Indeed, Steve looked a little sick, and little did I know how sick Steve was. Steve looked sick. Anyway, Steve was played by the same actor, but he was much slower and had a speech impediment, which made his words slightly slurry. Come on in, he yelled like Droopy the dog. Blue the dog also looked slightly different. The skin was textured more like a real dog. While still blue, for her fur like hair was on the character model, the eyes sparkled like a real puppy dog. In one regard it looked cute, in another it seemed a little off. Steve's shirt was frail and tattered. The walls of the home were kinda dirty too, like the fake wallpaper on them. Steve's usual sofa chair was dirtier, with some sort of stain on it. It was hard to make out. Steve went to get the mail. He sang his usual song, but instead of lyrics, it was just the word mail over and over. Mail, 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 mail. He stammered, he shouted in a little, and all fell over. Mail, mail, uh, 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 uh. I never seen Steve so excited. He excitedly opened the mail to find nothing but a few bills and expired coupon for a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. Not what I was expecting, Steve said with a scowl. I don't have any friends. There was a long pause. Except for you kids. He pointed at the camera and smiled and zoomed on his face, revealing a disheveled amount of beard stubble. I need something fun to do today. Blue is seen in a corner, tugging away at the corner of a rug. As Steve continued to talk, the rug pulled away more and more, revealing a trapdoor. A symbol of an eye is carved on the door, with the Latin phrase "Stasis Bardus," which roughly translates to unintelligent blind man. Steve was visibly shaking as he adjusted his house thermostat. The thermostat was a real thermostat, not a drawn-in one. In fact, many of the objects it would be drawn in, more like a pasted on clip art. I need to clean myself. He goes to the bathroom and begins to shower. Suddenly, the soap begins to scream. What the hell are you doing? The soap yells. Steve sees that the soap had a face, and while the kid's smiling face, he looks really confused. He begins to freak out and throws the soap down the toilet, flushing it down while screaming bloody murder. He noticed tiny faces on his all other cosmetic and hygiene products. What's next? Singing a toothpaste? The voice said from the other room. I just admired them. Blue, help me find something fun to do. Blue winked at the camera and led Steve into the kitchen area. I'll take your mouth too, the voice said from the other room again, sounding exactly like Steve. Steve walked into the kitchen, which had a small fire burning in the corner. The utensils drawer was shaking. There were living utensils in there, and he knew it. Steve bumped into the table, the side table, and fell down. Blue placed a paw print, the first clue, sitting on the table behind Steve, with a blue paw print on a cucumber. The first clue. Blue seemed slightly sinister looking. There were 6 copies of the slightly transparent blue Sprite, all layered all over each other. Look, the voice yelled. What? Steve said. Right there, the voice yelled. What is it? It was the same thing as oil was a clue, and the clue was clearly visible, so why couldn't Steve see it? A strange figure in a cloak slid across the room without moving its legs. It may have been prop on wheels, but whatever it was, it took several random items such as chairs and bowls that made rounds across the room. What is it? The flame continued to eat the background. It's a clue. It is a clue, said the grizzly older man. It is a clue, said the grizzled older man's voice yelled. How the hell can you not see it? It's right effing there. Steve squinted and picked the cucumber. He opened up a notepad and tried to draw it, but he was shaking so much and ended up drawing something weird. I couldn't really tell what it was, but it looked like a picture of Hitler at a children's birthday party. Steve was then led to the second clue, which again had a man yelling angrily, "You can hear me, I know you can." That voice came from the other room. Steve needed another shower. He showered again and found a second clue. It was a jar of Vaseline. He couldn't even draw this. It was a straight line followed by the camera pointing back to it with one eye closed. A few seconds later, Steve is seen on the phone with his doctor. I feel like my dog is trying to kill me, and the only utensils and appliances in my house have faces, and the phone is disconnected. Steve is shown walking over to the door to lock it with a great paranoia. He makes a huge deadbolt across the room and turn around with just a crooked picture of the room he's in on the wall. "Look," the voice yelled. The third clue went on Steve's right ass cheek. Steve went over and began to deliberate on his clues. What's something I can do with a cucumber, Vaseline, and he thought about it. He asked the audience. He paced around the room. He tried desperately to comprehend what the clues added up to. He desperately tried to comprehend what the clue that added up to, but he couldn't. Blue began to talk in a heavy German accent. "I want you to put a cucumber in your ass." Steve screamed, and the dog jumped on him forward, revealing rows and rows of teeth, like a trash compactor. "Do it, you omelet." The teeth began to rotate in machine-like fashion. But Steve ran into the other room. The door was gone. He tried desperately to draw a new door with a crayon, but the fire from the kitchen made the home so hot the crayon melted into the wall. A bloody wheelchair with leeches laid in the corner. Blue's head elongated by a foot in length, and his eyes grew as wide as saucers. Talon-like claws grew from her skin, and her rows of teeth began to grind up the backdrop. Steve lashed with the trapdoor from earlier. He ran over and pulled it open, diving into it. Blue's monstrous teeth chattered as he began to sprout bony wings, and the blood began to pool from beneath her feet. Her stomach opened up and highly realistic gore began spewing mammoth chunks from everywhere. Massive columns of fire rapid from behind her as the walls cracked and broke. A strange hollow soulless noise began to envelope the screen as the demonic-like spikes grew the ground around him. "I'm now blue," Blue boomed. "I'm red." 2 dozen dead bodies lay at the bottom of the trapdoor. Steve stumbled over them, his blindness not letting him know what it was. The blood-red dog, like demon, bit into Steve's arm, leaving a gnarled mess. Steve reached across the floor to pick up the crowbar, lifting it and slamming it rudely into Red's skull, cracking it into bony pieces. Red exploded, sending gore flying in all directions. Steve slammed against the wall and joined a pile of bodies that were facing down the floor. The center of the explosion had revealed Red's true core. A little skeleton man with a top hat with a molecule began to dance around. He did all kinds of crazy dances with a sinister smile. As the skeleton man began to dance like Michigan J. Frog, a voice whispered, "I'm in your home." I personally looked around my home and saw nothing. The tape should have ended there. The credits of the children's program began to roll, but they were abruptly cut off by some random conversation between two people. "This really is good pizza," one of them says. "I thought it was Steve." They say, "When you lose one sense, it heightens the others." "Hard to enjoy," Steve continued, holding his spoon. There's nobody else there. He was having a conversation with the air around him at his dinner table. "I wouldn't enjoy this as much if I had my eyes." He took my eyes. The camera cut to Steve with two abyss-like holes that were wider than normal eye sockets. Deep within the eye sockets there was nothingness, and he smiled and enjoyed his pizza. He wasn't alone though. The shovel, pails, salt and pepper shakers, the garbage can, refrigerator, they were all alive and well. At least for now. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that creepypasta. If you guys have, please leave a comment below and tell me what else you guys want to see. And this has been the Anime Wolf Dude, and peace out. And also, send prayers to my brother. He is having pneumonia, and I hope he feels better. Give prayers to him. Peace.